Happy MoviePass Monday, everybody. It's Moon Pies, and there are three things I want to talk to you today. The first is I want to discuss the letter that Mitch Lowe sent late on Sunday night through Reddit. And it will also introduce, and not that the letter did, but I'm going to introduce the word throttling into your vernacular. And I guess I may introduce the word vernacular into your dictionary. But either way, we're going to talk about that. And also, the second thing I want to talk about is Ted Farnsworth, who is another important person in the MoviePass story because he is the CEO of Helios and Matheson Analytics, the company that owns 92% of MoviePass, had some interesting comments in Variety magazine over the weekend talking about how the company has access to a lot of money and they're going to stay in business for at least a year with that money. So we're going to discuss that, the pros and cons, and dig deeper into that. And also I want to talk about late last week, MoviePass rolled out an offer for many MoviePass members that they can invite up to 3 of their friends or family members to join MoviePass for the first month for free. So we're going to discuss all these things and more, possibly, who knows. Let's get started. Number one, the letter. So now look, this letter was posted on Reddit, and while you're thinking, Reddit, do I trust it? Is it reliable? It was posted by the moderators of Reddit late Sunday night, about midnight on Sunday East Coast time. And since the moderators did it, basically it's just their way of trying to just start from the ground up and get more communications with people. So let's actually dive into the letter. All right, a letter to our members. A few weeks ago, we revived our unlimited one-a-day MoviePass plan for all subscribers to our service. At the same time, we made the decision to update our terms of service, returning to our original model of limiting users to only seeing each movie once. I understand that many of you have expressed concerns with this change. If we have disappointed you, I am deeply sorry. However, this change is a necessary one. To put it simply, there were too many people taking advantage of our trust. Many users were sharing their MoviePass app with others. Some were using the service to scalp tickets and earn profit. Our new policies will prevent these behaviors, and we are already seeing a significant decline in our rates of abuse. MoviePass was created with the intent of helping people discover and enjoy movies that they normally would not see or would wait to watch on a streaming service. Our goal is to help foster diversity and creativity in an industry that often plays it safe for the purpose of mass appeal. We want to empower movie makers to be different and take risks, and we want to enable moviegoers to take chances on the movies they see on the big screen. Ultimately, these updates are in the best interest of MoviePass and its community of subscribers, and will help protect the service we all love. We appreciate your cooperation and flexibility as we continue to adjust our service to keep MoviePass at a low cost. We must work together to achieve our dream of forever changing and re-energizing the entertainment industry. I can't express how much I value all of you for being part of that vision. Thank you sincerely, Mitch Lowe, CEO of MoviePass. So a sweet letter, which is really a sorry, not sorry letter, explaining why what's happening. But let's talk about throttling, because it's a term never used by MoviePass, never used by Mitch Lowe, but it's something that MoviePass members are probably going to have to get used to. Now, the concept throttling means a lot of different things, but when we're talking specifically about a subscription service or any kind of like monthly service that you're getting, it usually means slowing its more active users so that they're not abusing the service. And abusing can be the same thing. Using doesn't mean bad. It just means you're just using it more than the average member. So throttling it's been around forever, and there's a good chance that your broadband provider, if you look at the fine print of whoever's giving you your high-speed internet access, that person, the company probably has a throttling provision where basically they say, after so-and-so, after 50 gigabytes of monthly data or whatever, we reserve the right to slow down your speeds. And also for wireless carriers, a lot of these unlimited plans and unlimited shared data plans are not that unlimited when you think about the fact that they are, after a certain point, they will slow you down. Not all of them, not all carriers, and not all broadband providers, internet providers, but many do. And it's just a normal thing. And even Netflix, the granddaddy of the haters of throttling, because they publish monthly data on all the internet services, the speeds that they're using that they're giving consumers based on their movies and video streams, so let consumers know who is throttling who. Even they were once accused of throttling way back when they were just a DVD service. So there was a time way back when many of you may not remember, when Netflix relied only on mailing DVDs by mail. And you'd get these red mailers. They still have the service, but they're down to about 3 million people do this now, as opposed to 20 million at the peak. Not compared to the hundreds of million people that actually worldwide that are streaming subscribers now, Netflix. But they used to rely on these DVDs. They'd send it out to people. And once you got one, you'd watch the movie, you'd put it back in the envelope, put it in the mail, and Netflix would cover the shipping both ways. So that's where Netflix got serious about throttling. They probably didn't mind that someone went through a lot of movies because they were not paying per rental. They were actually buying the movie at their price, at their wholesale price, and at the retail price, actually, and then using that. So if someone saw it and returned it a day later, it'd be, hey, this is one more movie in our inventory. But postage was where it would get them. It would be almost $1 in postage since they would cover first-class shipping. First-class stamp shipping is basically the same, almost $1 for round-trip transportation. So what they were accused of, and they never actually admitted to it, but they were accused by its most active users, was that they would return the Netflix movie, and instead of having it shipped to like their nearest distribution center, Netflix started in California, and then they quickly opened up distribution centers all around the country, about 2-3 dozen distribution centers, so you can have overnight access. You ship a movie, you'd put a movie at the end of the day in the mailbox, it would go the next day, be at the distribution center, that same day they would send it to you. So within 48 hours of dropping off a movie, you could probably get another DVD from Netflix. So what they found, a lot of people were some people that were not necessarily honest, or maybe just really freaky about watching movies the moment they get them. They would get people would actually get the movie. They would rip the movie onto their PCs. This was back when computers were a thing. Rip the movies and burn them on CDs and then just DVDs and just return the movie to Netflix. So they would go through a high volume of movies, 13, 14, however many they could slip into this whole 2-day cycle of shipping. So Netflix said, all right, well, no, Netflix did not say this. What people are saying Netflix did was that they would actually send in the second movie instead of from their local distribution center. They'd send it from someplace a couple of time zones away, so it would take a couple of days to get that next movie. Or sometimes after they received the movie, they wouldn't ship that movie right away. They'd wait for a day or two for some of these more active users. And again, these were all allegations, and maybe they happened, maybe they didn't. But Netflix to this day says it didn't happen, but people that went through it said they did. So even Netflix can be accused of throttling. But throttling is exactly what we see happening here right now at MoviePass. So let's go over these things. And we went over it last week, some of the changes that have happened. But broadband, we already did that. You're limiting use with the fact, limiting it to one single viewing per movie. Now, anyone that's seen the release schedule knows that there's maybe 2-3 big releases coming out every single weekend. So technically, if you see every movie that comes out, you're not going to see every single movie. You're not going to see 30 new movies a month in most markets. And you probably don't want to because it's going to mean that you're going to see movies that you normally wouldn't want to see. It's a lot of different genres, a lot of different movies out there, period. So we move on from that. That's a way to slow people down. Instead of seeing someone that would see a movie 2 or 3, 4 times because they have nothing to see and they'd rather see the Avengers Infinity War a 4th time than to watch Tully a 1st time, they would say, all right, let's stop that behavior. So that is curbing that use. And also the fact that they're limiting it to one device and also making people take picture stubs. And that, of course, may not impact you because if you're an honest MoviePass member, you have a phone, you have one phone, you don't share your phone with other people, you're going to go see the movie you buy the tickets for, you wouldn't dare buy a ticket to a movie and then the next day go see that movie and then use the actual credit debit card authorization on concessions or a different ticket or buy 2 tickets to the same movie. You wouldn't do that. So if you're an honest person, you may think this doesn't affect you, but even then it does. Because if you switch out, let's say it's time to get a new iPhone or a new Android phone or a new smartphone period, you're going to actually go through the process of having to transfer from one phone to another, and that may slow you down for a few days. As we've seen already, some people are getting flagged for ticket stubs. Even though it's the actual ticket stub, they'd say, hey, this doesn't match up. So there's some inconvenience sometimes through these measures, through these hurdles, these hoops that MoviePass is making some members go through. So it's going to get rid of all the people that are basically cheating the system, but it's also going to inconvenience the people that are there. The end result is that it's throttling. There's less usage of the service. So now the last thing that MoviePass wants to do is retreat from the term unlimited. Unlimited, there's great perceived value in a buffet. And if you think about it, it's in the old days, MoviePass, they actually had this tier process where it'd be like a certain amount of people only pay this amount. If you go over so much, you do that. But that service, that tiered service, and the fact that it was $30 for unlimited at the end, until last summer, that got them 20,000 total subscribers at that point when Helios and Matheson got in and got MoviePass to go down to $9.95 and really revolutionize the service. So there's value in the platform and there's value in the word unlimited. So they're going to do everything they can, and before they start curbing things and saying, all right, you can only see 2 movies a month for $10 at $9.95 a month, they're going to try to do everything to slow everybody else down, so at least they're not losing as much money with everybody. So And the other part of that is that the most important thing in Mitch's letter to me is as we continue to adjust our service to keep MoviePass at a low cost, which is their way of saying, hold on to your bucking Broncos, kids. There more things may come, more changes. Hopefully they won't be so bad, but again, it's all about throttling, about slowing you down. It may come to a point that you may say, this isn't worth it, and MoviePass has to understand that. I think they saw that when they were only selling the one that was just the 4 movies a month through that iHeart promotion back in March and April. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to do stuff to slow down the fact that some people are buying this and using it as they are legally entitled to under the current laws, current terms of use, which is a lot, and you costing them a lot of money. So let's move away from throttling. Let's talk about Variety. So Variety is clearly it's an entertainment trade publication, and Ted Farnsworth was interviewed over the weekend. He's at the Cannes Film Festival where Gotti, that Travolta movie that they invested a little money in to help with the distribution, they actually, Farnsworth had some interesting things to say. And one of the things he said was that, hey, we're actually going to invest in we're going to announce at some point later this week a movie that we're going to be part of, the financing to help the distribution, like they've done with 2 other movies already. And it should be announced. The Cannes Film Festival runs through this Saturday, through yes, I believe it's through this weekend. So something could happen. Something will happen maybe Friday, Saturday, or later this week. They may announce a movie. And Farnsworth saying people are not going to believe it because they wouldn't think we're possible, a company that's low on cash, that we can do something like that. But we'll see. We'll see when it happens. But the real big jaw-dropping thing was that he mentioned, and he had mentioned it before in other interviews. He says the company has access to $300 million, a line of credit for $300 million, and that would provide 17 months of operations. So it's a way of saying, hey, guys, don't worry about it. I know everyone's panicking and the stock is going crazy, but stick with me. Something could happen. We're still in this. So let's talk about this $300 million figure and a couple reasons why it's not dubious, but it's something that you should at least be concerned about. First of all, the $300 million, that line of credit, was never mentioned in any of the SEC filings. It's only Farnsworth that has actually mentioned it in a couple interviews that they have access to that. So this doesn't mean that it's not true, and it probably is, but it means that he did not want it in print in an SEC filing where the auditors have to look at it. And the auditors, we already know that the MoviePass auditors through Helios and Matheson already have their doubts about the MoviePass model, which is fine because even MoviePass has conceded that as a present form, it's not sustainable without the inflow of money. So we get that. But the fact that it wasn't it's sort of just said in thing is not the same as they're going to hold you to it and say, oh, but you said this, how can it not be true? And second of all, $300 million, if I'm going to be a cynic, and I'm going to be a cynic here, if they have $300 million available in the line of credit, why did they in mid-April, in that $150 million that they're authorized to hit the market, why did they price $30 million of that at $2.75 a share when the stock was almost at $4, which tells you they really needed that money and enough to dilute the stock, dilute the shareholders, and basically kill the stock. Ever since that secondary offering, the stock's been on a downward spiral, and it's going to go all over the place. I'm not going to hear to talk about stock advice, certainly not in this channel, certainly not in this exact installment of the video, but I do want to talk about the fact that they did realize that, hey, we're selling this at a very big discount to what the stock is currently trading at. It's going to disrupt investor trust, the market faith in us, and clearly we've seen that happen. But they decided to do that instead of going to this line of credit that was readily available for 10 times as much as they ended up taking out. Again, makes you wonder that maybe it's not as easily accessible as I think it is. And the third aspect of that is that 17 months is what he's using, and I tried to wrap my head around 300 million divided by 17 months is not this 20-some million, and even 32 million, which is what it may have lost on a cash basis in April. It's nowhere close to it. But you add 300 million, you add it to the 45 million that it already had in the form of 15 million in the bank and another nearly $30 million in deposits with merchant processors that will dispense it as it's earned. And you get to the fact where it's about $20 million a month average if we go that $345 million average. So that is a lot more than the 21.7 million average that it says it's losing in the last 7 months, and the 20 million, more than the 20 million that it was in the first 6 months. So basically, April was the outlier, and if you work that math, 20 million over 6 months and 21.7 million over 7 months, the average means that that last month was closer to 32 million that they lost in April. It's simple math. But let's go beyond that. It's not feasible to say that we're losing 20 million a month and we're going to lose 20 million a month a few months from now. The service was very small 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago when this average started, and it's hopefully going to be a lot bigger. With 2 million members, it's losing a good chunk of money. With 3-4 million people, it's going to lose even more until a lot of things happen in the terms of revenue generating, different revenue streams, and also how it's going to find ways to curb usage. But for now, it can't just say that at double subscribers, we'd be losing the exact same money, because it's not true. So yes, they have been able to curb their costs somewhat since these effects went into place, but not to the point where anybody, the vast majority of their members, remain very unprofitable. So adding a member is not going to help with its bottom line. It's going to help with its overall numbers, and that is important because that sort of leads us to the third point, which is giving your friends, three of your friends or family members, a free month of MoviePass. A very neat promotion, neat gimmick that MoviePass pulled out on Friday, started mailing it out to many of its MoviePass subscribers. I saw where some people didn't get it, and they were like the more active users, and they thought maybe they're penalizing me because they think if I go a lot, my friends that I will get them to go a lot. Again, that's probably a conspiracy theory, but who knows? But it's a neat promotion for a couple things. First of all, referral plans usually involve the person referring getting something in return. So if you are, let's say, a Groupon or Ebates or Living Social or even Handy.com, any of these services, Uber, Lyft, of course, even more bigger ones. If you refer someone, hey, you get a piece of you get a referral fee. You get like a finder's fee. This is not the case. MoviePass is not giving who's referring people anything at all, just the benefit of knowing that they're sharing the love and ideally finding new movie partners to go see movies with. So, and it's also interesting in that MoviePass is going out of this way to make it that the service itself is free for that month. So this is MoviePass, a company that's saying, we only had $15.5 million in readily available cash at the end of April. So things are pretty dire as far as for a company losing the amount of money that it is. But we're going to give you people access to have at least a month free, and hopefully they'll start paying us after a month. First of all, that's a lot of bravado, and it's pretty encouraging to see MoviePass pull something like that instead of saying, oh, they could pay us for a month and they'll get a second month free, where they would get the money in advance, at least for the 2-month period. But it's an interesting way for them to scale quickly, which is what MoviePass is trying to do right now. They're trying to get to 3, 4, 5 million and beyond subscribers, so that by the time they really do hit that cash crunch, and I think they're at it now, but they may, if this line of credit is real, and hopefully we'll see if it's real or not eventually, because it means MoviePass will still be around in a few months, it will get to the point where they will have large enough scale where they can put all the pieces together. They bought MoviePhone, which gave them access to advertising in an online portal where they can generate some money from that. The more people they have, the more data they're collecting, the more points they can sell, the more everything that the bigger the model, the more valuable it is, the more leverage it'll have. I know there's a lot of hate for AMC out there amongst MoviePass members, and in reality, it's not just AMC that's not playing nice with MoviePass. MoviePass itself had said that 94% of the movie theaters out there are not giving them any kind of break. They have to pay full retail price. And as we know, that's more than the average price because people are not discerning when they're going to go see a MoviePass movie. It's not on their dime, so they don't care. That's why AMC, in the first 3 months of this year, was paying MoviePass $12.02 average per ticket, whereas AMC itself, their average is closer to $9.80. So you get to the point where there's a lot of things happening here, but MoviePass is A, talking a big game, B, apologizing sort of about what happened, but sort of saying, hey, we're going to keep doing this business, it's going to keep us in business, and C, they're really hungry to get more members at this point. So they've given up that whole, they realize that forum thing, that iHeartRadio 4-movie month pass as a hook is not working, so they're doing this as a way to scale. I don't know if it'll ever come back. I don't know if prices will come up before that institution comes back. No one really knows. I think even MoviePass doesn't know. They're sort of sometimes throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks. But it's an interesting situation right now where the company's saying that they have enough money. And of course, you're going to tell people you have money to last for a year and a half when you're trying to sign people to pay up for a year or even less than that. But it's an interesting time for MoviePass. And I can't believe all this happened in just basically a 3-day span. Between Friday and Sunday, we had this Variety article, this deal to get promo people, and then, of course, Mitch Lowe's, sorry, not sorry apology. So keep sticking around and subscribe to my channel if you made it this far. Hopefully you enjoy my vision, what I'm looking at, my perspective on MoviePass, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we can talk about some many cool stuff in the weeks to come. So do subscribe, and we'll see you next week. And if big news happens between now and next Monday, something that I just can't hold to contain, I will make a special video about it. But for now, we'll see you next Monday. MoviePass Monday. Moon Pies out. And I'll see you at the multiplex.